Muling magandang araw po sa ating lahat. So ako po pala ulit si Sir Arvin Bautista, ang inyo pong lecturer para po sa Geometry and ngayon naman sa Statistics and Probability, subject ng College Entrance Test Review Program po ng Smile Taytay Training Institute. Ito ay ating pangatlo at huling video na para sa ating Statistics and Probability. Well, technically apat kasi naputol nga pala yung first video. Pero yun, bahala na kayo kung anong gusto nyo, kung pang ilan man. Okay? So, ito yung pinakamaikling part siguro. Kasi pagdating dito sa sa discussion natin, well, we are already in the last topic po ng ating discussion, which is the normal distribution and inferential statistics. Actually, kung tutuusin, mahaba po sana to. Pero dahil ang basehan natin ay yung mga lumalabas sa college entrance tests. So, yun, hindi kasi masyado dahil heavily on solving si inferential statistics, heavily on research-based si inferential statistics. Kaya po, kakaunti lang siya. Okay? So, madami nga dito puro concepts lang, ganyan. So, medyo mabilis-bilis to compare dun sa dalawa. Okay? So, ayan. Kapit sana tayo dahil mabilis man, pero sana mas marami kayong maunawaan pa rin. Lalo na nanonood nito ay currently grade 12 students. Malay nyo, may magamit kayo for your research, okay? For your PR2 and the 3 eyes. Okay? So, ayan. So ngayon, our discussion is once again about the normal distribution and their inferential statistics. So normal distribution, familiar naman tayo that it is a continuous probability distribution that is symmetric about the mean. Okay, meaning pag hinati mo po siya sa gitna or dun sa mismong mean, kung ano yung nasa left side, yun din po yung nasa right side. Kung anong size na nasa left side, yun din po yung nasa right side. Depicting that the data near the mean are more frequent in occurrence than data far from the mean. So, ganyan yung itsura po na ating normal distribution, which is a bell-shaped curve. Okay? So, the curve is symmetric about its center nga po, meaning the mean, median, and the mode coincide at the center. Okay? Sa gitna sila. So, the width of the curve is determined by the standard deviation of the distribution, while the tails of the curve, kung mapapansin natin, yung tails of the curve dito, nagpa-flatten siya. Okay? Flattens out indefinitely along the horizontal x-axis, always approaching the axis but never touching it. Okay? Kasi asymptotic po yung dalawang iyan. Okay? And then the total area under the curve po is 1 or 100%. Thus, it represents the probability or proportion or the percentage associated with the specific sets of measurement values. So, ayan. So, meaning ito rin palang mismong normal distribution na to represents probability din po pala. Okay? So, sa skewed distribution dito, meron tayong left skewed. So, ito. So, ibig sabihin yung left side nakapipit. Okay, nakaipit yung left side. Meron tayo ditong yung bell curve na normal distribution. Okay? Na kung saan yung pinakaipit niya, left and right, both. Then, pagdating dito sa right skew distribution, okay, ang nakaipit naman nito nasa right side. Nakaipit meaning kakaunti lang po yung data na nandoon, katulad dito. Okay? So, kung mapapansin lang po natin dito, para saan ba, bakit kailangan alamin si skewed distribution? So, kung papansinin po kasi natin, for example, dito sa una, which is the left skewed distribution, the long tail occurs on the left side. Okay? Nasa left side po ng distribution. Meaning, okay, pinakamaliit si mean, followed by the median, then si mode ang pinakamalaki. Okay? If going to write it in symbols, for the left skewed, wait lang po. Okay. For the left skewed, mean, median, tsaka mode. Okay? Ang symbol niya ay puro paganere. Ay, sorry. Bakit talaga ng sulat ko, no? So, paganyan siya. Ayusin nga natin. Ayusin lang ha, hindi kagandahan. Baka mag-expect kayo eh. Median. Tsaka mode. Ayan. Kay left skewed po, ganyan siya. So, ibig sabihin, si mode ang pinakamalaki kasi kung ma-observe nyo rin naman, siya yung nasa pinakataas. Followed by median, followed by the mean. Kay normal distribution po, they are all equal. All equal. While for the right skewed distribution, ang pinaka, okay, kung mapansin natin, mean, median, and mode. Okay? Pag ganun naman siya. Bakit naman si mean yung pinakamalaki? Sorry, binagit ko kanina dahil sa taas. Hindi po. Imagine na lang po na ito po ay number line. So, kung sino, di ba sa number line, kung sino yung nasa left side, siya yung negative. Kung sino yung nasa right side, siya po yung positive. Tama po? So, kung si mean nandito sa pinaka-left, meaning siya po yung nasa negative na side, so ibig sabihin medyo maliit siya compared kay median at kay mode. Kung papansinin naman natin dito kay right skewed, si mode yung nasa left side, si median nasa gitna, si mean yung nasa right side. Okay? Ibig sabihin naman po nito, okay, si mean yung pinakamalaki, followed by the median, followed by the mode. Okay po? So, ayan. Imagine na lang yan na yun po ay number line. So, dun sa normal distribution, nasa gitna po si mean, median, at mode, equal po silang lahat kasi pareha sila ng placing. Next one, the standard normal distribution. Ito yung mga pinupunto ko lagi sa estudyante ko. Pag nagkaroon po ng word na standard normal distribution, nandyan yung word na standard. Ibig sabihin po, wala tayong kailangan pag-usapan. Your mean will always be 0 and your standard deviation will always be equal to 1. Actually, that includes the variance. Ang variance po ay 1 lang din naman. Okay? So, kasi 'di ba, alam naman natin ang relationship ng standard deviation at ng variance. So, ayan, 1 lang din po si variance. Empirical rule pagdating po sa ating normal distribution. So, ayan po, kung makikita po natin, this one represents one standard deviation. Kaya, ayan, kung mapapansin natin, one standard deviation, negative siya, meaning below the mean. Ito, one standard deviation above the mean. Two standard deviation below the mean. Two standard deviation above the mean. Three standard deviation below the mean. And three standard deviation above the mean. Yung mean po, yun po yung laging gitna. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po, sa loob ng standard deviation 1 or 1 standard deviation, sakop niya po itong isang buo na ito. Bakit? Siyempre, kapag 1 standard deviation, yung below and above the mean, sakop niya po parehas. Meaning, ito po ay may 68%. Okay? Kasi si 1 standard deviation below the mean, 34%. 1 standard deviation above the mean, 34% din po. Then, 2 standard deviation from the mean, that is 95%. Okay? That's 2 standard deviation. O, sana natatandaan niyo yung symbol, ha? Okay? Sorry kung medyo umingay yun. Ginalaw ko po yung mic. Sorry. So, yan. Next. For the third standard deviation, combined both above and below, that's 99.7%. That's 3 standard deviation. Sir, nasaan yung 0.3%? Yung 0.3% po, yung 0.3%, that is what we call the outliers. Okay? Hindi po yan germs na basta lang po nawawala. Nandyan po yan. Outliers po siyang matatawag. Ibig sabihin, that is already beyond the 3 standard deviation. Alam ko naman, alam nyo pa to. Okay? Let's try to use. According to the empirical rule, approximately what percentage of the data falls within 1 standard deviation? Okay? Of the mean in a normal distribution. Kakasabi lang natin. Okay? O, balikan natin. Let's start with 3 standard deviation. 3 standard deviation, 99.7% as a whole. 2 standard deviation, that is 95%. Tama? Then, uh, for the first standard deviation, that would be 68%. Okay? The answer is 68%. Next one. If the mean height of a group of scholars is 165 with a standard deviation of 4, what range of height covers 95% of the group assuming a normal distribution? So dahil alam natin na 95% ay 2 standard deviation, we are asking or we are asked of the range. Range meaning kailangan nating ibigay yung 2 standard deviation below and 2 standard deviation above. So, kunyari, ano ba ang binigay na mean? Ang binigay na mean ay 165. So, ibig sabihin, itong gitna natin, this is 165. So, imagine na lang, this is a normal curve. Diba? Ang pangit na naman ang drawing ni sir. Imagine that is a normal curve. Yung 1 standard deviation and yung 1 standard deviation below and above, kailangan mo mag-minus and mag-add doon sa mean na kung ano ba yung given na standard deviation. So, that's 4. So, kung 165 to, 1 standard deviation below, 165 minus 4, that is 161. Tama? 1 standard deviation above would be 169. And then, to get the second standard deviation, mula sa 161, mag-minus ka ulit ng 4. 161 minus 4, that is 157. Then 169 plus 4, that is 173. So, nakuha na natin yung 2 standard deviation. That is 157 and 173, which is letter C. Okay? So, ganun lang po siya. Literal po na yung kada standard deviation po na hinihingi, magja-jump ka lang base dun sa binigay na standard deviation dito sa problem. Okay? So, ganun lang po talaga siya. Next one. What percentage of data in a normal distribution is expected to be greater than the mean? What percentage of data in a normal distribution is expected to be greater than the mean? Okay, tandaan. In a normal distribution, for example, that's a normal distribution, nasa gitna si mean. Okay, yan yung symbol natin ng mean. So, ano nga bang percentage of data are expected greater than the mean? So, kung greater than the mean, ito. Ayan. O, ilang percent to? This one is 50%. Kalahati po. Tandaan natin, sabi kanina, na in a normal distribution, it is perfectly symmetrical along the mean. So, pag hinati mo daw po ang normal distribution sa mean, it is perfect symmetrical. Okay? Perfectly symmetrical. Meaning, kung ano yung nasa left side, yun din po yung nasa right side. Hating kapatid. So, 50%. Next one. A standardized test has a mean of 500 and a standard deviation of 100. Approximately, what percentage of students score between 400 and 700? So, tingnan natin. Normal distribution. Ayan siya. Ang gitna natin ay 500. Tama? Okay? Ang standard deviation natin ay 100. So, 1 standard deviation below, that would be 400. So, ito na yung pinapahanap na isa. Next, one standard deviation above, that would be 600. Second standard deviation above, that would be 700. So, ang pinapahanap pala sa atin ay itong 1 standard deviation below hanggang 2 standard deviations above. Okay? So, ayan siya. Yan pala yung pinapahanap sa atin. So, kanina, ang sabi, the 1 standard deviation is, so from here, papunta dito, this is 68%. Ito kayang maliit na ito, simula dito po, hanggang dito. Uy, may nakalagay yun kanina, natatandaan kaya natin? This is 13.5%. So ngayon, we are given 68% and 13.5%. 68 plus 13.5. Okay, that would be 5. Carry 1. 1. That would be 81.5%. That would be our answer. Kaya po kailangan nyo rin pong tandaan iyan. Okay? O, balikan natin ha. Kailangan nyo rin pong tandaan yung binigay ko po kanina na itong empirical rule. Okay? Pero let's use na lang po na instead of 13.59, let's have it, kasi ito 34, di ba? Ito 34 din dito. Let's use it as 15. This one is 15. That's 13. Sorry, 13.5. Ba't pa 15 yung nasa isip ko? Wait lang. I'll change the color, ha? Okay. Wait lang. Burahin natin to mga papalitan natin. Okay. Wait lang po. I'll change my color. Or the color of the pen, rather. Palitan ko kulay ko. This one is 34%. This one is 34%. Okay? So, yung first standard deviation to the left of the mean, 34% siya. Yung sa right, 34% din siya. Kaya pag in-add nyo, 68%. Then, pag nag-extend ka pa ng one standard deviation, okay, magkakaroon ka ng 13.5%, tapos 13.5%. Kaya pag in-add mo yan, 13.5 plus 13.5 plus 34 plus 34, 95 po yung mabubuo nyo dyan. Okay? Then, for the last standard deviations, madadagdag ay 2.35 lang. 2.35%. Dito rin sa kabila, 2.35%. Okay? So, pag in-add mo yan lahat, that would be a total of 99.7%. Okay po? So, ayun siya. I hope na intindihan natin ng maayos. Kaya po nakakuha tayo ng 81.5%. Okay? Next ay ito. Ito, napakahalaga nito kasi ako, naranasan ko to na lumabas sa exam. Okay? Na, ayan, binigay yung mismong itsura. Dalawang normal curve, ano daw po ang magiging, ano ang interpretation mo dyan? Kung mapapansin nyo, ito, ang gitna niya, nasa 0. Ang gitna nito, nasa 1. Tama? Huwag mo lang laitin yung drawing ko. Ayan, 0, tapos yung isa, 1. Parehas ba sila ng itsura? Parehas sila ng lapad, ng mismong shape. Parehas. So, ibig sabihin, okay, ano ibig sabihin ba nito? Anong madedecode natin mula dyan sa mga drawing na yan? Okay? Your standard deviation determines the shape or lapad ng drawing. Okay? Or yung height. Pwede rin. Okay? While the mean determines the center. Okay? So, sabi natin kanina, magkaiba sila ng center. Yung isa nasa 0, yung isa nasa 1. Pero parehas sila ng shape or ng lapad. Ibig sabihin, both of yung SD1 nito is equal to the SD2, while the mean 1 is not equal to the mean 2. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? Ibig sabihin daw po, yung dalawang drawing na yan represents na yung standard deviation ng dalawang drawing na yan are equal, while yung mean nila ay magkaiba kasi magkaiba sila ng center. Okay po? So, ayan lang naman yon. O, next. So, ito. So, parehas naman sila. Gitna nila ay 0. Magkaiba lang. Yung isa medyo punggok. Yung isa naman medyo matangkad. Anong ibig sabihin? Yung SD nung isa is not equal sa SD nung pangalawa. Pero, yung mean nung isa ay equal sa mean nung pangalawa. O, bakit magkaiba sila ng SD? Parehas sila ng mean. Magkaiba sila ng SD kasi magkaiba sila ng shape. Okay? Yung mismong lapad ng drawing, yung height ng drawing magkaiba, pero yung gitna nila parehas nakasentro sa 0. Okay po? So, ayan yung ibig sabihin yan. Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng shift? Okay? Sa drawing. O, ito naman. Dito naman, kung mapapansin, ito, ang gitna niya, nasa zero point 5. Gitna naman nito, siguro, ayan, nasa negative zero point 5 naman. Okay? So, kung mapapansin, magkaiba sila ng gitna. Therefore, yung mean 1 is not the same or not equal to mean 2. Magkaiba rin sila ng lapad. Yung isa mas punggok, yung isa mas matangkad. So, therefore, yung SD nung isa ay hindi rin po equal sa SD nung pangalawa. Okay? So, ayan lang. Baka kasi lumabas, bigyan kayo ng drawing, tas anong ibig sabihin yan, ganyan. Or anong meron sa mean and standard deviation. At least alam nyo po. Okay? So, next. Z-score. Ito rin, familiar din sa inyo to kasi topic to sa senior high sa statistics and probability. So, ano ba si Z-score? Si Z-score, or tinatawag din na standard score, tells you how many standard deviations a value x is above or below the mean of a distribution. So, it is given by the formula z is equal to dx minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So, x is an individual value, pwedeng nakuha. Okay, ito yung nakuha, or kunyari nag-exam, ano nakuha mo score, ito yun. Okay, mean, mean of the distribution, ano yung average. Then, standard deviation, yung bilog na may buntot. Okay, paano ba ito ginagamit? So, dito, students, yung Z, gaano ba ka-importante si Z-score? Si Z-score po kasi ay napaka-importante talaga. Kapag ang Z-score mo po is equal to 0, ibig sabihin, yung score na nakuha mo ay equal sa score is equal to the mean. Okay? Kapag ang Z mo naman ay positive, ibig sabihin your score is above mean. Okay? Ibig sabihin, mas mataas sa mean yung nakuha mong score. So, kumbaga, mas magaling ka. Okay? Doon sa general average ng klase nyo. For example, nag-quiz kayo sa math. Tapos, ang score na nakuha mo, positive. So, ibig sabihin, mas magaling ka kaysa doon sa average ng klase ninyo. Kapag ang Z naman is negative, ibig sabihin, your score is below naman of the mean. Ibig sabihin, mas mababa ka naman compared sa average. So, Z-scores allows comparison of values from different distributions. Okay po? So, nakakapag-compare tayo kung mataas ba o mababa yung score mo base sa general average. Okay po? So, for example, this one, a student scored 70 on an exam where the mean is 80. Okay? And the standard deviation is 5. What is the student z-score? So, once again, z-score is equal to the x minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. X minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So, our x is, anong score ni bata? 70. Minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. 70 minus 80, that's negative 10 divided by 5. So, that is negative 2. Okay? So, our answer is negative 2, letter B. So, kung mapapansin nyo din naman, kung i-compare natin, si 70 na score, mas mababa naman talaga siya sa mean. O, ito once again, ulitin natin. Kapag nagsasagot, mas maganda kung mabawasan natin yung chance po na kayo ay magkamali. So, dito nakita nyo na, yung score ng bata ay 70, yung score ng mean ay 80. Mas mababa yung score niya kaysa sa mean. Ibig sabihin, negative. Tama? O, balikan natin yung kanina. Okay, balikan natin. Sabi dito, when the z-score, yung sa sinulat ko po, when the z-score is equal to 0, ibig sabihin yung score ay equal sa mean. Kapag yung z is positive, the score is above the mean. Kapag z is negative, the score is below the mean. So, alam natin na yung score ng bata ay 70, ang mean ay 80. So, below the mean. So, dapat, expect na natin na ang kanyang z-score ay negative. So, anong option mo? B at C lang. Etong A, hindi mo isasama yan sa choices. Etong D, hindi mo rin isasama sa choices. Kasi parehas po yung positive. Okay? So, dun pa lang, you already have the idea. Okay? Actually, dahil isa pa, kung ako magsasagot nito, hindi ko na to isa-solve. Okay? Bakit? O, yan na, di ba na, anuhan na natin, na mas mababa kay mean yung score ng bata, kaya negative dapat. So, ang choices mo lang is either negative 2 tsaka positive 10. Yung 70 at 80, hindi malayo. Kung ang pag-uusapan natin ay standard deviation na 5. 'Di ba? Hindi malayo kung pag-uusapan ay standard deviation na 5. Kumbaga yung hakbang, yung talon ng talon from the standard deviation 5 by 5. Actually, dalawang talon lang yan, kaya nga negative 2 yung sagot dito. Okay? So, dahil alam mo na malapit lang yung 70 kay 80, hindi mo rin isasagot si letter C. Kasi negative 10, ang laki po nung negative 10 when we are talking about z-score. Okay? Next. The mean score of a college entrance exam is 85 with a standard deviation of 10. What is the z-score of a student who scored 95? Gamitin natin yung kanina. 85 ang score ng mean. Ito yung mean. Ang score ng bata, 95. Ang standard deviation ay 10. Tama? Kung mapapansin nyo, from 85 to 95, mas mataas, so positive. Tama? Mas mataas si 95 compared kay 85, mas mataas yung score ng bata kaysa kay mean. So, positive dapat. So, si A ay X na yan, hindi kasama. Ano pang mapapansin natin? Ang 85 at 95, magkalapit lang yan. Relatively, si 0.5, si 1, tsaka si 2 magkalapit. Tama? Pero titingnan, yung 10, ibig sabihin, kada talon daw po ng standard deviation, 10. From 85 to 95, ilang talon? Di ba isa lang? Isang 10 talon lang yon. Kasi 85 plus 10, that's 95. So, isang talon lang yon. So, our answer is letter D. Without us solving for it. Pero if you want to solve for it, Z is equal to X minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. That would be 95 minus 85 divided by 10. Okay? So, 95 minus 85, that's 10. 10 divided by 10, that is 1. The answer is 1. Okay? So, hindi ko na sinolve, pero nakuha natin yung tamang sagot. Pero dito, pwede nyo rin namang isolve kung hindi kayo tiwala dun sa ginagawa ko or hindi nyo siya masyado magets. Okay? So, ang idea lang dyan, si standard deviation, bibigay niya sa'yo kung ilang talon. Okay? Kung gaano kalawak yung talon. So, for example, 85. Yung susunod na, yung first standard deviation would be 95 kasi ang isang talon ay 10. So, magpa-plus 10 ka lang dyan. Okay? So, ayan. Ang tinatanong sa z-score, ilang talon ng standard deviation ang kailangan gawin? Okay po? So, ayan. Kung hindi nyo masyado siya mag-gets, pwede nyo naman pong i-solve. Okay? Pero kung ano, mas okay, ito yan. Diba? Nasa mean ay 85. Ang score ng bata ay 95. So, ito siya. Okay? Di ba standard deviation is the distance from the mean papunta dun sa first standard deviation. So, from 85 plus 10. So, 85 plus 10. So, eksakto yan, 95. So, ito pala ay ang first standard deviation. Dahil ito ay first standard deviation, we'll get 1. Okay? Paano sir kung ang score ng bata ay 100? Or for example, ang score ng bata ay 105. Ano pong magiging sagot? Kung 95 to, mag-plus 10 ka ulit, that's 105. So, ibig sabihin, ito ang 2 standard deviation. Ano na magiging sagot? 2 na po yung sagot. Okay? Pero yan, once again, if you're nalilito kayo sa part na yon, pwede naman po nating isolve. Madali lang din naman mag-solve. Okay, magiging problema lang kasi dun sa sinasabi ko, paano kung hindi exact? So, magkakaroon po ng decimal. So, kailangan talaga ding isolve kapag may decimal po. Okay? Kunyari, hindi nag-exacto. For example, Ang binigay na student score, 100. O 105 yung second standard deviation. So, kailangan mo siyang kunin ng decimal. Okay po? So, ayun siya. Once again, kapag hindi masyado naiintindihan, namamadali ni sir, you may pause the video or you may click yung 10 seconds na back. Okay? So, ayun po. Next one. Sampling. Okay? The battle between population and sample. Okay? So, alam ko naman, aware na kayo rito. Okay? Pag sinabi po nating population, that is the entire group na gusto mong pag-aralan. While the sample, subset lang po ng population. Kumbaga, part lang, smaller group lang po. Okay? Kaya dyan may all, tapos ito smaller group. Tapos pagdating po sa statistics, may mga data kasi, yung mean, standard deviation, and variance po, may iba-iba po tayong tawag dyan. Depende kung sino ang dinedescribe nila. Parameter po ang tawag kung ang dinedescribe mo po ay population. Statistic, walang S sa dulo. Ang tawag naman kapag ang dinedescribe po ay sample. For example, in your study, gusto mong pag-aralan all grade 12 students in the Philippines. That could be your population. Okay? Then, for your sample, 500 selected grade 12 students lang yung gusto mong kunin. Okay? Bakit nga ba tayo hindi kumukuha ng buong population when we do research? Kasi po, we only study sample. Kasi sa sample, ay kapag kinuha po kasi natin yung entire population, magastos po, time-consuming din, and sometimes it is impossible. Okay? Sometimes lang naman. Hindi naman laging impossible siya. Okay po? Next, ano ba yung mga sampling techniques na meron tayo? Pinag-aralan to sa statistics and probability. The simple random sampling, ibig sabihin lang po dito, lahat po ay may equal chance para mapili. For example, you'll be drawing names from a hat or a list or yung lottery method na tinatawag po natin. Systematic sampling naman, random sampling, ito naman po ay kapag mayroon tayo, ang tawag ko dito, sinasabi ko sa mga bata, pag may rules na sineset. Ang rules na yon are what we call the interval. So, for example, nilista mo lahat ng grade 12 students sa buong school ninyo. For example, Taytay Senior High School. Tapos, pagkatapos mo siyang ilista, gusto mo yung kada 8 student. Okay, magbibilang ka ng kada 8. Sila yung papasok as your sample. Or dito, every 10th person on a list, yun yung kukunin nila. So, that is what we call the systematic random sampling. Kasi, may system sila, may rules silang binuo. Then, ito naman, medyo kambal to, si stratified tsaka si cluster. Kasi parehas itong bubuo ng grupo. For the stratified random sampling, their groups are what we call strata. Okay, sorry. Pangat na naman ang sulat. Strata. Okay? Dito naman, ang grupo dito ang tawag ay cluster. Anong pagkakaiba ng strata or ng stratified random sampling at ng cluster sampling? Kay stratified random sampling po, populations divided into subgroups which is random sample from each. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kumukuha po sila ng random sample mula po dun sa different groups. Kunyari, bumuo ka ng 5 grupo. Kunyari, for example, sa mga YUMS, ang iyong population, YUMS students ng Taytay Senior High School. So, you'll have your strata, ito yung mga grupo, yung sections. Anong gagawin mo doon? Kada section, kukuha ka ng sample. Okay? Kukuha ka ng representative. Yun po si stratified. While si cluster naman, dahil may mga sections yun, okay, you'll get the whole section. Okay? For example, yung 2 section kukunin mo buo. Walang maiiwan. That is cluster. Okay? You are selecting the entire classroom. Okay? So, ayun lang po. So, kay stratified representative from each group, ito, sa cluster, yung mismong grupo na, yung representative. Okay po? Let's have this question. A researcher lists 2,000 students alphabetically and selects every 20th student, starting from student 5. What sampling method is being used? So, nag-identify siya ng kanyang rule. 20th. Every 20th student. Dahil may rule, that is what we call the systematic random sampling. Okay po, ganun lang siya kadali. Ha? Next one, pag correlation naman, ito ibibigay ko lang po sa inyo kung paano nyo po i-identify or paano ba natin, ang tawag dito, paano natin bibigyan kahulugan yung mga numbers in terms of correlation. So, ano ba si correlation? So, correlation, ito po ay statistical measure na ginagamit natin para malaman yung strength and direction po ng relationship between variables. Okay? So, dito sa Pearson correlation coefficient, that could range from -1 hanggang +1 yung correlation nila. Kapag positive po yung correlation, meaning both variables increase together. So, ibig sabihin, kapag yung isa po ay tumaas, tataas din po yung kabila. Example, yung study time tsaka exam score. Okay? Napatunayan ng isang study na the more study time ang meron ng isang estudyante, mas tumataas yung score niya. So, parehas silang pataas. So, ibig sabihin, positive po yung correlation nila. Okay? Pag walang correlation naman, walang consistent relationship between the variables. Example, shoe size and intelligence. Mas malaki ba yung size ng paa? Mas matalino? Okay? Dahil wala namang consistent na relationship sa kanila, they have no correlation at all. So, pag negative naman po yung number na nakalagay sa R, dun sa kanyang Pearson R, yung isa nag-i-increase, yung isa nagde-decrease. Example, absences, tsaka final grade. Mas dumadami, tumataas yung number ng absences mo, yung grade mo mas pabagsak. Okay po? Yung isa tumataas, yung isa bumababa. And remember that correlation does not mean causation. Okay? Hindi ibig sabihin na kapag nangyari yung isa, mangyayari din po yung kabila. Okay? Kasi causation na po yan. Two variables may be correlated without causing the other. Kasi pag causation, ibang study naman po siya. Okay? Tinitingnan lang natin dito kung may relationship ba yung data o wala. Okay po. Then, for this one, paano ba tayo nag-i-interpret ng Pearson correlation coefficient? Ito po ay isa lang sa napakaraming interpretation. So, pag weak correlation sila, that's 0.10 hanggang 0.29. Moderate correlation, that's from 0.30 to 0.49. Strong ang correlation, that's from 0.5 to +1. Pag negative naman, lagyan nyo lang po ng negative. Okay? So, ayan. Kasi pwedeng maging weak positive correlation, moderate positive correlation, pwede ring strong positive correlation. The same time, pwede rin pong weak negative correlation or pwede rin maging moderate negative correlation at pwede din po maging strong negative correlation. So, for the last question, a researcher found R is equal to 0.85 between study hours and exam scores. What does this indicate? A. Study hours causes higher exam scores. Letter B. There is a perfect correlation between the two. Letter C. There is a strong positive correlation between study hours and exam hours. And letter D. Study hours and exams scores are not related. Okay? O, bawasan muna natin yung possible choices ninyo. Una, tanggalin natin si A. Bakit ko tinanggal po si A? Nandun po yung word na cause. Once again, relationship cannot identify causation. Okay po? Next, tanggalin din natin si letter D. Study hours and exam scores are not related. Kasi nakita nga natin 0.85 lang. 0.85 po yan. Tandaan po natin na ang value po ng R could be from -1 hanggang kay +1. So, si 0.85, napakalapit niya po kay 1. So, ibig sabihin, they are related somehow. Diba? Ang choices mo na lang ay B at C. Perfect correlation. Ito yung nagpamali dito. Wala silang perfect correlation kasi kung perfect yan or super strong yan, kailangan mag-1. Kasi yun yung highest eh. Diba? So, dapat 1. Kaso hindi. So, the answer is a strong positive correlation. Diba? Kasi kung ibabase nga natin dun sa kanina, ang strong positive correlation, That is from 0.50 to 1. Okay? Ito nga ay 0.85. Apakalapit na po sa 1. 'Di ba? So, ayan po. Ganyan tayo magsagot ng ano ha, ng mga exam na paparating po sa inyo. As much as possible, na number one tip talaga na ibibigay ko po sa inyong lahat na mag-e-exam, um, kailangan we do not settle for 25% chance. Kahit po hindi nyo talaga alam yung topic, wala kayo masyadong idea sa topic, you never settle for 25% chance. Mayroon at mayroong lalabas dyan na clue kahit papano that would make your chances higher. And yun yung kailangan natin i-grab. Okay? So, to end our discussion, do you have any question? If you have any question, kung meron mang comment section or what, kung paano natin mapapadala kay Sir Arvin yung question, okay? Contact personnel or yung mga staff po ng Smile Taytay Training Institute. Okay? So, ayan, sila na siguro yung magsasend sa amin ng concern ninyo, if you have any. Okay? So, ayan, maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. Dito na po nagtatapos yung dalawang subject ko po na ni-lecture sa inyo. Sana naman kahit pa paano may naitulong po ako sa inyo para ma-achieve nyo po yung dream college school nyo, dream university ninyo, and also your dream program na mapuntahan. So, once again, maraming salamat po. This is Sir Arvin Bautista. Goodbye and God bless everyone.